extremely exciting journey over the last couple of years, and this is now our attempt to share these learnings. And also, I'm probably going to do like a conference presentation of this next year. So I'm really looking forward to all of your feedback, and if what we were doing is actually insightful, interesting, or totally standard practice, and we were just living behind a rock for a while, which can totally be as well. So I want to share our journey, how we identify user problems 10 times better, and we're doing this by triangulating research methods. So the direct outcomes first of that method that I'm sharing today, is first we have like an insane amount of shipped product improvements that we are shipping year by year because of that method. So it's just like it enables us to bring new cool things to life. We have completely redesigned one product area because of what we learned in the method. We shifted the development of one product area from an offshore development team to a Central Europe-based team because we learned that this is actually super relevant and one of the core tasks of our users. We measurably improved the user satisfaction, and this resulted in really cool MRR growth, so monthly recurring revenue, kind of important for us. Yeah, and I have way less annoying internal discussions with stakeholders who are not designers. Last, there are a couple of boom headache moments per quarter, and really a lot of excitement about research in our organization because of that. So, how did that happen? Before I tell you, I want to give you a bit of context about the world I'm living in, what I'm doing. So, I'm leading design in a vertical SaaS product for the energy transition. We have a product team of about 40 developers, 8 product managers, and 7 digital product designers with like 2 researchers that grew from like 1 designer to that size in the last 2.5-3 years. And we have a digital platform as a product. So what you see in yellow are all the systems that are serving as a digital workplace for agents in the energy industry, or like for actors in the industry. They are working in these yellow areas about 30 hours per week. Then we have the blue areas. The blue area are the configuration systems. So these enable we call them configuring users to completely no-code configure the which is in the energy transition kind of relevant because that means we don't need all these consultants in between that just like make projects longer and more. And in the end, we have the end user who is on our platform buying energy products, upgrading existing energy products, or requesting services. Side note: nothing against consultancies. Makes totally sense in certain settings. In the energy industry, there's just, or like in the energy transition right now, there's just such a pressure on time that it's way better if it's done than if it's perfect. So yeah, it's really about enabling organizations. So in order to build the system, I thought when I joined the organization, such a large platform, such a big scope, we really need to make like data and research-driven decisions. Today, I think a bit differently. I think we need data-informed decisions and research-informed decisions. It's not all, it's not all that. What else is it? What else do we need to make fast product and design decisions? Well, it's a combination. So first, we have market and business understanding, and then we have craftsmanship and intuition. If one of these occur in an organization, we saw that we make scary product decisions. Making only because of market and business understanding, scary. Only craftsmanship and intuition, also scary. If we combine those two, we get risky product decisions, which can be totally okay. But solid product decisions are often way better. And these we get solid product decisions if we throw triangulated user research into the mix, or we give and then risky ones again if we combine the user research part with one of the other spheres. So this is kind of the framework behind it. And in today's topic is going to be the triangulated user research sphere. So it's not only about that, but it's damn important, in my opinion, to build a great product. So now let's really dive into the methodology. We're calling it triangulating research methods for enhanced user understanding. Who hears that and thinks like, yeah, totally clear, makes sense? Okay, yeah, so there are a few full-on research specialists in the room who works like 50% plus of their time on user research. Lol, it's the same amount of same group of people plus one. So we know the research audience who is sometimes engaging with research. Okay, a lot, cool. So that means that I will, in the following, hopefully 14 minutes, first dive into first establish a shared understanding of user research in the room. Then I want to go through through this case study of our methodology, and in the end, yeah, there's going to be a wrap up. So, whoop, that was too fast. Let's first take this statement apart. So, what are research methods, right? Research methods can be what users think, feel, and say. So in the head or in the belly. Huh? And this is what's like in the research lingo called attitudinal research. Then we have research methods that help us understand what users do. It's called behavioral. We have research methods that help us understand how many and how much problems we have. These are quantitative methods. And in the end, we have methods that help us understand why and how to fix something. Qualitative. We put all of that on a graph. Then attitudinal and behavioral are opposing each other. And qualitative and quantitative are opposing each other. And if we put that all together, we have a great map of user research methods which helps us understand which method to use in which case. So this is not my idea, by the way, but Christian Röder came up with that, great researcher. Yeah, what is our idea, or kind of new, is this graph, which shows how we are triangulating research methods for enhanced user understanding. So that means we're not taking like one method for one problem, but we're combining them in order to arrive at better outcomes. So I want to show you next how we are doing that in practice, how that looks like, which tools we're using, so end-to-end case. Yeah, how does this look in real life? So when we do research, we always have research objectives. These research objectives were for this case to understand which usability debt must be solved in the platform versus acceptable to keep in order to grow faster and focus more resources on building new stuff. The case study will focus on finding out what's most valuable from a user perspective in order to make solid product decisions. So remember the 3 circles from the beginning. We want to inform discovery and delivery prioritization on a roadmap for initiative that is called efficiency in daily tasks in a resource-scarce organization. So we're competing with platforms like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics, but we are 100 people in total. So we need to do way more with way less. So like a super clear prioritization is way more important. And yeah, the efficiency in daily tasks focus area was to actually make users who are working daily in our platform more productive in their tasks. Yeah, and in the end we wanted to discover in that focus area also unknown unknowns. So what are the things that we don't know that we don't know? Getting to the ground of that. So we start with the user, right? Quelle surprise, segmenting users. But the cool thing here is that we did that in not only just creating personas based on qualitative research, that's the thing we all know, but we were then in our digital experience insights tool called Full Story, it's like behavioral analytics. We were able to figure out trackable criteria that define a user group, that define these personas, and then actually set up tracking for these different personas. So that meant that we not only had an understanding of the exact users, like the exact users per user group or per persona, but we also had an understanding of like how many are they, how do these user groups overlap, and what we see here are like the different user groups we have, and we see like on the side there's like buying, requesting users, which is like consumers in the end. So it's massive user group, but they are only like on this like very small part of the platform, on the green part in the beginning. But like all the others are on this like large part of the platform, yeah? Where we have, in theory, we have like more than 80 places we could optimize, hundreds of features. Yeah, how do we pick what's important? Huh? And like a great indicator, super early in the process, was this overview, because our salespeople and our customer success people, they mainly speak to configuring users, and the salespeople speak to managing users. So the requests of these people were always on the top. But the way bigger user group are the executing users, so the agents actually, and just no one heard them before, because the configuring users, so the managers, always said, yeah, but my reporting feature is way more important than the feature for the actual users. Yeah? So this gave us like, a great reason to prioritize the right things, and also helped us to really learn what they are. So we were then able to download these user sets and wrangle them and then visualize them. So we got this. So now we know the user groups of the different product areas. Next, we were identifying core tasks for these product areas. So in a platform where a user can like complete like about 300 something tasks, which ones should we optimize? We took the executing user segment and the configuring user segment identified before, and sent them a task importance survey. In that survey, they were able to see all these platform tasks and then rank them from most important to least important for them. So they were like pulling in every task that's important and then ranking them. And then they got another page of the survey where they were able to say which one works the best for them versus what works the worst for them. So we understand perceived importance of all the tasks. So with like classical user research, that would go to the product managers and be like, okay, here, go with it. When we triangulate user research, then we want something really solid that doesn't need like way more discussion, but that is a great indicator for prioritization. So we have a feature in our platform that allows configuring users to model workflows for the executing users, the workflow builder. And then the executing users like go in their daily work through these processes, and just check tasks off, say they skipped something, said something was not necessary, add additional tasks that were needed in the context, yada yada yada. This is a great data set. So we took this data set and performed a keyword analysis of it. So that means that we take like every task apart into like the different things that it can mean. That's kind of related to how the LLM would do it. So there's like can be like child or baby or like all the different categories, and they are mapped to a keyword scheme. And then we can actually map these keywords to the tasks that were also in the task importance survey, and we have a ranking of tasks that is not only grounded in perceived importance, but that is also grounded in frequency on the platform. So this is like how often are users doing it, how important do they find it, and then we can like on that check off like what's going well, what's not going well. Based on that, we have a clear set of priorities where we as like 40 people or like 50 like designers plus engineers can actually deliver value. But now we have the next problem. When did we succeed? Did it work? Did it actually help? Well, one thing would be to run the survey again and get all these users to invest like 30 to 50 minutes again of their time in doing that. Yeah, that alone doesn't work because you can't really repeat it often. With like a relatively small user group in a B2B product, you can't get that many survey results of a complex survey so often. Also, like other product areas, there's like other research we're running in parallel, so we can't make this the only surveys we're running. So we have like a way more condensed and a way faster, way leaner survey, which is our CES North Star metric, our CES, which is our North Star metric. Can I get hands for CES? Who wants an explanation? Yeah, it's the customer effort score. It's a standard methodology for understanding how much perceived effort a user has with a certain task. So we have all these tasks, and we have like a list of the tasks, and then like users rank them from 1 to 7, how much effort this task is for the users right now, and we have this per user group. So we really were able to, based on these segments, break it down and only send like shorter surveys to the right users. We also set it up in a way that users would on the first survey page answer like the general customer effort score ranking, and then only go into details. And like the survey's already submitted the first time after the first question, so we got like in like a couple of days like 200 replies, which is like completely fine for that. Also, there was an incentive for users. Yeah, then we're evaluating this survey, and we're seeing a certain score that a certain user group has an average on a task, and we're understanding the range, like from like how good to how bad the task is. And based on that, we can understand progress over time on these core tasks. We can understand the return on investment on the things that we build, and we can set realistic goals for us as a product organization. So we know that this CES, you can't change it overnight with like +1 or -1, but it's really like it's small increments, and it's really like strategic prioritization also based on that. So we have this the set. So there you see like the scale. 2022 we were more like in the crying range of users. 2024 we are like 2 years later we moved the scale across like almost all of the core tasks, and like we have like this is the goal for like mid 2025, the pink line. So this really helps to align the entire organization as well, on what do we want to do, and like give people like this fixed idea of like where are we running. All right, so speaking about where are we running, now we have all these research insights about like where we want to go and like all these cool ideas, but how do we make this actionable? So for this, we took the CES survey data, so the replies, and we were able to there's this tool we're using where it's like super easy for every employee in the organization to filter them. Mainly like this is done by the researchers, designers, and product managers, but there's also some developers who are super interested in it, some salespeople who use it as a sales argument in their organizations. Hey, look at like your users. There were like 10 users from your organization who ranked it great. Like, do you want to scale it to a different department? So it's like this made like the research also a interdisciplinary tool. Side effect. But mainly we used it to then identify the email addresses of the users, And then from these from these email addresses, we were able to create a session playlist again in this tracking tool. So we have the survey, completely different tracking tool, but we were through the email addresses of the users, we are able to make the connect. And then with this digital experience insights tool, it's retrofitting the changes in the DOM to actually create videos of user sessions. So we can, without a crazy cookie load that makes the site super slow, we can get session recordings of users. Who has ever worked with session recordings? Okay, a few who haven't, so I'll quickly explain a bit more in detail what they are. So these recordings are not like videos, but they are actually a lot of code put together into a video. So that means that you can't only watch the videos as a human, but you can also query the tool for, hey, give me all sessions of this specific flow that occurred in the executing users segment within this specific time, but only for users who used this page before and this page after. So we're getting a super specific set of, or we can get a super specific set of user sessions to watch. This is basically, in our organization, this changed so much because we don't need to do we need to do way less interviews and actual qual user research anymore, but we can just fire out features, watch the first couple of users use it, identify improvements, ship them, watch the next throw 2 more organizations on it, watch them use it, iterate, and that way really continuously deploy until we have a new feature or something that we can roll out to everyone. And with these CES insights, right, we were able to get this playlist together of the worst ranked and of the best ranked tasks. So we can see, we can learn, we can fix mistakes, we can fix the problems, but we can also learn we were also able to learn what the top users did, who used it very well, and that way consult them. Our IT thinks it's a great idea to centrally manage how long the display can stay on. So then there are still some things that might be unclear here, or that were unclear. So we did interviews to understand what was unclear with those specific users. Again, 0 recruiting time for the users for research because we were just able to ask them. And so with the CES survey data, session recordings, interviews, we are once a quarter delivering this board to as the design team to the wider organization that really shows a lot of actionable insights. So it's informing the roadmap and prioritization. So we had these 4 steps. The last 2 we do once per quarter. Then we do the identify core task exercise whenever we feel like there's something majorly might have changed. Once a year, once every 2 years, something like that. And segmenting users, coming up with new user segments, well, whenever it's helpful. So now let's take a step back, get into bird's eye view again. So in the beginning you saw this map. Now it's filled. And what we see is that all these methods on there were not used separately for separate projects, but they all informed each other. They were connected in some way. And which effects has that triggered? Better prioritization via the platform tasks ranking from those 2. Then from another 2 final methods, which were informed by another few, a better usable platform, including impact for the most relevant product. And in the end, the user profiles also helped us to have a way better value understanding, so of the ROI. So what's the final effect of this? was like we supported that way with design and research 100% growth year by year for the past 2 years in the organization. So this is also why the organization loves research, because they can see the direct impact of that on our growth. And also we had like recently a VC round, and they did the due diligence, and so they asked like many of our customers, hey, what's great about this platform, what's horrible about the platform, and they all named like usability, joy of use, like how much fun it is to work in the product as a like differentiating factor of our product, and this is what enabled that. Yeah, so if there's one thing you can take away from this talk, one thing to remember from now on, it's always be connecting dots. The way easier way to say triangulate user research methods. And with that, thank you for the quality of your attention, and I'm curious on your questions or feedback. To do that, please scan the QR code, and there's like 1 or 2 trigger questions on, and it would be great if you could really quickly fill them. I love that as a way to start a Q&A, because it democratizes the whole thing. Like also the silent people can ask questions. Thinks it's a nice way to get started. Also, this brings you to my LinkedIn profile where you can connect if you want, if there are any other questions. Okay, going there.
So yeah, you truly practice what you preach with the question. So are you just waiting a couple of minutes for input? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, take your time. Give him.
There's general interest in which tools did we use for the case study. For very easy answer. I didn't drop the names in the presentation because I'm not doing advertising for like other products. But if people are interested, it's Full Story for digital experience insights. Full Story is one of my favorite tools besides Figma. Basically, it allows all the session recording stuff, and it takes all the tracking hassle away from the developers and to us as the product people. So like literally a monkey could implement it. So doesn't mean that we're not intelligent, we just can't handle code, complex one at least. So that's great. And then there is Survey Hero, for like, which is in German Umfrage Online, but the international name is Survey Hero for all the survey things, and it has like a really nice way of instantly evaluating and cross-evaluating features, has a good price tag as well. And then there is Airtable for doing the triangulation magic, so really like combining different data sources and doing all the fun stuff with it. It's basically like Excel on steroids, so the way more fun tool. What else? Yeah, I think that are the core ones for like for interviews and stuff. Maze, obviously, but yeah, I think that's the tools. Convincing stakeholders, clients, or your boss about the value of research. I have a principle: land and expand. I show them, so they tell me research. I feel we do. I show them a little bit of a glimpse. I have an understanding this is strategically important, something that they, not necessarily the organization cares about, but something they care about. And then they love research for more. Again. Something else, text answers. How do you get the users to participate? We have incentives on one side. Incentive is always like shape the future of the platform you work in. Second incentive is depending on the user group, different like amount of Amazon voucher. We invest about we always raffle like 3 vouchers per survey. We spend about I think 400 euros a year for that. Way cheaper than recruiting agencies. Works well for our user group, but everyone needs to try that out for them. GDPR, experimentation, behavioral analytics. So there is we have the cookie consent and everything is on there. We have the privacy policy and all of these things that our lawyers take care of. So I took myself out of that. So these are the dominant question in there. Is there anything else? We're also already a bit over time, so can also
I was the last one, and experimentation was different than the GDPR. So it was basically, do you also do something with actual experimentation? You said, well, you sometimes launch things to a couple of users, then use the session analytics. Do you also do that on a larger quantitative scale?
Yeah, it depends what you see under large. Yeah? So we have this large end customer user group, but our product is embedded via iframe on the website of our clients. So they do experimentation in our product, and then they use usually third-party other things to do that. And we can learn from these things. So then our clients tell us, hey, we found this out in experimenting with your product. But we don't do that yet ourselves. For the smaller things, it's really just build stuff, release, look what happens. Look what happens. It can be really something like a developer does in 2 hours, or we come up with an idea after lunch and a coffee. A dev just builds it in 2 hours. We release it to 2 customers we don't really care about, and watch the session. If they directly use it and understand it, great. If they don't, bad luck. What really helps with that is a thing called it's this tool where you can position tooltips directly inside the application, and it's also a SaaS tool. We use this to help new users understand features which are not very developed yet. So you can have you can build a super simple onboarding flow with a few clicks. So we do that with these fast small experiments. But we don't really have enough users in the core product for A/B testing and stuff like that. Also, convince me if you have an idea how to do A/B testing well with 2,000 users. I would die for that information.
So you said to test new features that you sometimes launch it randomly to certain customers. Do you pick them randomly, or is there a process involved in which customers you choose?
Again, behavioral analytics. So this is again this full story thing that comes into play. So we look at which user problems does this solve. Then we think about which criteria can we track that where this user problem would occur. So and we have a segment of users, and then we can we sync full story with our user API, and that way we can then query by organization name and just provide it to these on these tenants.
Thanks for showing how you should do research. So thanks a lot for that. And we hope we were really glad to have someone from outside Belgium joining you. We hope you had a great time in Antwerp as well. Thank you for everything. So please give him a warm round of applause. So this wraps up our October edition of UX Peers, but the conversation doesn't need to end The bar is still a bit open. There are still some amazing dishes from Greg left, so we hope you still stay. And in any case, we will be back next month, where we will be hosting with November 5 on November 26th. We couldn't do it on the 5th, so voila. But thanks for coming, and hope to see you soon again. Thanks.